If you or anyone around you are affected by the subjects of today's podcast, you can reach out to get help, advice, or support from our charity partners, Women's Aid, at womensaid.org.uk, or the Yorkshire-based organisation IDAS at idas.org.uk. You can also find these links and reach out to us directly via our website takebackthebeat.co.uk or email us at takebackthebeattour@gmail.com. That's takebackthebeattour@gmail.com.
Take back the beat.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Take Back the Beat.
Voice notes? Question mark?
Voice notes.
Voice notes.
Notes.
How are you, friend?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. What have you been doing today?
We're both lying terribly.
I don't know what you mean.
We're like, oh, okay, we're absolutely fine. Everything's completely fine, and life is fine. We're fine. It's fine.
Oh, dear me.
So come on a scale of 1 to a whole tub of Biscoff. How you doing?
I'm fine. Oh,
Sure.
it's that classic line. I'm fine.
I'm fine. Fine.
Yeah, I'm good. It's a busy time of year, isn't it? Obviously, with everything, but
It is.
also
Yes.
it's coming to the end of the tour, so it's been a long one, but
Yes.
it's good. We've learned a lot.
Yes.
We've got our final show tomorrow,
Which will be today when this comes out, because
oh yeah,
we're filming the podcast quite last minute today, kids.
Yes.
It's been a week.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't even think I haven't had time for Biscoff. That's where I'm at.
That's where you're at. Okay.
And also, I don't know if you're listening that you usually see our Instagram, but my dad usually buys me, it's like a brownie slab with Biscoff icing.
Yes.
Yeah, and he works away, so he works in Exeter, and the bakery's down there. I mean, I'm sure I could find myself one here, but it just wouldn't be the same.
It's not the same. It's not the
And
same.
my dad's away for 2 weeks, so I'm a little bit sad because I haven't had my Biscoff fix, and I'm going to blame my dad for
Okay.
this. It's him. So
God, Ian,
if you-
how dare you?
Ian, if you're listening, how dare you go on holiday?
You owe us
And
12
how-
Biscoff
yeah,
slabs.
When you get back, you owe me. I want 7, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'll put
Okay,
in an
love
order
you.
in for 4. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, he told me at O'Meara that he was talking to you, and he said, "Oh, guess what I told Nat?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "I told her that I bought 2 Biscoffs and you ate them both, but one was for her." And I went, "Why would you say that though? Because you didn't like." And he went, "'Cause it's funny."
I was like, yeah, I know,
okay.
Ian. I was like, she doesn't love me anymore. She kept all the Biscoff for herself.
But
Fuming.
bless him, that was his version of a prank. That was his version of like
I
trying
enjoyed
to
it.
stir the pot.
I enjoyed it.
That I ate your Biscoff.
The irony is,
actually,
I could have believed it. I believed it. I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. It's a long drive.
but can you fill in the people with what I did actually bring you a piece of mine back?
Because obviously I hadn't seen Farah on my actual birthday. So Farah saved me a corner. And I say a corner, you know, like the M&S bites. That's how I can describe it. You get in the box, like the tiny little, like, one little biters of her slab. And put a candle in it and sang happy birthday to me. And to be fair, it was glorious. So I'm right with it.
See, that means I love you because I shared food, which I don't do very often.
No, and I appreciate it. I did appreciate it.
So
Thank you.
there you go, Dad. If you're listening,
I did have
you
some.
brought me up. You brought me up well.
I enjoyed it.
So on a scale of 1 to a whole tub, jar, or whatever of Biscoff, where are you today?
I'm currently dipping my antibiotics into Biscoff. That's where.
Oh yeah, we're both on antibiotics.
That's a fun. I had like.
Because we can't do anything without each other.
No,
obviously
not.
So we had to be on antibiotics at
I
the same
thought
time.
it was just hay fever. Like I suffered really badly with hay fever, and like I had this weekend was amazing. Like obviously we did a mirror, and then I've had like back to back like gigs, and it's been insane. And I did this incredible festival on Sunday, which is called Out and Wild. Just a massive shout out to those guys. It was an LGBTQ plus community festival. It was the first one they've ever done. The woman running it, Sarah, was just the loveliest human. Like, they treated me so well and so lovely. And like, oh, I was chatting away to Sarah and she'd organised the whole thing. And literally the day before the festival started, she fell downstairs and like torn ligaments in her leg. Like, she was in a massive moon boot. And like had these
What
huge
is going
oh
on?
babe, I had these like crutches and stuff and was still like running around and like came and met me from my car and like offered to carry my bags and I was like, hun, no.
No.
But it was just such a lovely community, and I think I was after Amira, obviously behind the curtain, guys. Like, we were very, I think because we wanted it to do well. We've put our heart and soul into this cause, and it's a very close to our chest cause that has brought up a lot of old feelings for us, a lot of triggers that we don't necessarily come on here and talk to you guys about because it's not fair for you guys to constantly hear us moaning about things, but. It's been moments that we've kind of had to take a step and have a breather and look after our own mental health. And Omira was such a big deal, especially like for me personally. I'd seen an artist last year at Omira, and I literally with Aiden, I turned to Aiden and I was like, I'm playing this event. Like, this venue is fucking stunning. I love it. It's so me, like it's so cool, and it's a that sounds like I'm saying I'm cool, but I mean like it's so like cave and like mystical.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It
literally
was-
looks like
it
could be
incredible.
underwater.
Yeah.
Like it's so insane. And I was like, I want to play this venue. And then obviously when we spoke about and sat down about what venues we'd like to do, and our producer was like, right, write down venues that you think you'd want to do, venues that are big, small, whatever. And I remember saying to you, I want to do Amira eventually. Like, I love Amira. It's literally I've had some incredible, like, watched some amazing gigs there, and I love it. And then when Simon called us and was like, we've booked Amira, I like literally just like my ass just fell out. I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of pressure was kind of put on us, like, especially, and like I know it was as well for you, but because I had in my head about this venue and it was such a big thing. So then I kind of said to you like the day before, I was like, I need to enjoy it because this is something whatever you're going to say, manifest or not, but it's something I've put out there, and I go, I want to do this, and I've made it happen. Like, we haven't waited for anyone, we've literally done it. Like, we've done this. And it was really triggering because a lot of things and a lot of like survivors came to the event that I don't think we were expecting.
Yeah.
And like even people who didn't know the event, like what it was really for, like if they were there to see like Billy Lockett or Sodi, who came up to us afterwards. Like, I've had some incredible Instagram messages from fans of Sodi and Billy Lockett who have been like, hey, I'm a survivor, thank you. And I was like, oh shit. And when I did my new song that's all about the relationship, I had a little cry on stage and I was like, oh my God, I'm a broken mess. And then literally like did the gig, then the next day I did Oxford Pride, and then Friday night I was in Birmingham, Saturday night I was in Gloucester, and then I drove to Pembrokeshire, which is the arse end of nowhere, like stunning, but I like got to my tent to do my gig and was just like, this is a room full of really accepting, loving people, and I'm so stressed and I'm so tired and I've got really bad hay fever, and I was like crying, and then they were just so warm and welcoming, and I messaged you being like, I don't know how I got through that gig because I was so exhausted and my hay fever was so bad. And then I literally got home and just like collapsed, and then was like, oh yeah, it's not hay fever. It's suspected tonsillitis or a chest infection. Cool, great.
Yeah. My mum,
so I was like,
my mum's on antibiotics at the minute as well. She's got chest infection. Like, there's
everyone seems to be ill.
definitely, there is something going around. And I didn't say anything to you about it. And then you messaged me and I was like, mate. And I just took a picture of my antibiotics. It's like, hey, me too. But there is so much going around at the minute, and it doesn't help when we're constantly on the go or constantly singing.
When you're a bit run down.
It makes you so much worse. So... that's not
like
good.
I've been so grateful for the opportunities I've had the past few weeks. Like I went to the Brighton Music Conference, which is something again I've always wanted to go to, and my publisher like emailed me being like, do you want to go? And I was like, yes, oh my God. And like, because it's like the tickets are really expensive, but they sorted me out a session and sorted me out my tickets, but for those 2 days I didn't eat because I forgot to, because I was so busy. And then I literally got home and was like, I'm shaking and I feel sick and my skin's horrific, and oh yeah, I've had 1 cup of coffee in the past like 24 hours, and you're like, oh, and no food. So it is kind of my own fault for being this kind of rundown, but I think we've just been like, go, go, go. And something actually our like sound man, Mike, said to us is like, we need to keep making sure we're checking in with ourselves, because obviously this podcast means so much to us that we're doing this and reaching out to other people. And even if only a handful of people listen at a time, like it's a handful of people that seem to really enjoy what we're doing. And
Yeah.
sometimes we forget that actually these are really heavy subjects that we are survivors of.
Yeah.
And I think we forget that, and we go, oh my God, this story was so bad, and this, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And then we walk away and go, wow, yeah, that kind of resonates with me, and
Yeah.
it's fine, it's not my story, blah, blah, blah. And we, again, suppress it. And even at Omira, when we were talking to certain people who were survivors, and I felt like we were kind of comforting others, and I was going, this is so triggering,
Yeah.
and we're trying to sound as if we're over it, and we are healed, and we're not, and blah, blah.
Yeah.
And also I think
It's finding
just
that balance, isn't it? I think because
Yeah.
this all happened very quickly.
so quick.
It's an incredible position we've been given, and an incredible opportunity that people have just gone, this is great, let's go.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
is something that we need to find a balance with when it comes to our mental health and even our friendship. And I don't mean that like we fall out, because we never do.
We hate each
but
other.
I don't even like you.
Don't even know who you are.
We sounded so convincing then, by the way.
Yeah.
But I don't think it. Do you know what it was? Aiden, when Aiden said that to you the other day, and he was like,
Yeah.
so Aiden just said to Nat, she voice noted me, and she was like, Aiden asked, when was the last time you and Farah did anything that wasn't Take Back the Beat, or had a conversation that wasn't anything Take Back the Beat, or, and don't get me wrong, when me and Nat together, regardless of whatever's happening, you know, we're that close of friends, I'd say family at this point, that it doesn't matter if we're chatting about Take Back the Beat or having a coffee, having a business meeting. We still have we still love each other, we still have the best time.
Oh, of course.
But we haven't done anything where,
Yeah.
you know, we were talking about the night, I'm sure you don't mind me saying this, before Omira, obviously I travelled to you, and it was a point where, like, you know, you get to that point before something big and you're like, well, we've done everything we can do, there's nothing else we can do now. We'd literally spent weeks on the build up to this, you know, the flagship one, and we just laid in bed that night like two giggly little girls, like we were just like eating sweets in bed and just laid there when we should have been going to sleep, but we were giggling because we were like nervous, we were excited, we were proud, we were together. So like right then and there, she was the only other person in the world who had that energy that I did, that could only feel what I was feeling. So we laid there like just giggling about the most random shit. We weren't even talking about Take Back the Beat or Omira. We were just laughing about random things. And that felt so nice, because it made me realise that we do need to start, like, obviously
Finding a balance.
Yeah, finding a balance, and we're so on it when it comes to doing stuff, you know. We're happy to dedicate days and nights to coming to London or coming up north. But we then never go, right, now we've done that, let's put on a film and have a pizza or go out for a meal and drink a bottle of wine and just be silly.
It's that toxic kind of thing that is kind of imposed on, I don't know if it's just our generation, but it does feel like a very much this generation thing of, like, if you're not working 24/7 towards your goal, then you're never going to achieve it.
Yes,
and that is
it
kind
is.
of and we have been kind of thought this, and we've said to each other, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I took an hour off, or I did this and this, and it's like,
oh, I've been to the gym, and it's like, no, that's fine.
Those are healthy things to do. Yes, okay, we've technically, this is a business adventure because it's a new thing and whatever. So yes, we do have to put a lot more time and energy into something that's already established.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it isn't healthy to be constantly putting 24 hours a day into something that, and it's finding that happy balance, because as much as this is therapeutic, and I love doing the podcast, and fuck me, when I'm on that stage, like, Omira was just, I could repeat that over and over and over again every day.
Yeah.
But it is going, okay, now do you know what, I'm going to spend half an hour on my Switch, or I'm going to watch a film, or I'm going to do this, and it's that kind of vibe. But we're just venting to you guys,
and that's part of our issue as well. That's why I'm saying it, because the good thing with Nat and I is we are very much the same persons, which is great that we've gone into business together, but we also have to both, like, catch each other out with stuff, to the sense of, like, we have to go, right, do not apologise for going and doing this, or do not apologise for having time to yourself, because it's very easy. Like, I put on myself all the time, and then if something were to come up, or I couldn't do something, you know, for other circumstances, which has happened lately, and I'm sure I'll fill you in on one day, but it meant that for 2 days I couldn't do anything because I had a family emergency. But obviously that's something that couldn't be helped. It was a family.
It's not expected.
I felt like dog shit for 2 days after, because I'd not done anything and I couldn't, but I physically couldn't. And that was like, you need to calm down. Like, things happen. What's
Yeah.
happened isn't nice, so you need to deal with what you've got to deal with. But I need to learn, and again, it's that mindset of like, if I'm not working, then I'm being lazy,
Yeah.
and that's
And it is,
not
it's
the
that whole
case.
thing as well. Like, it comes back around to we spoke about this before on the podcast, like people pleasing. Because
Yes.
of what we have been through, it's an easier life to people please at the detriment of our own selves. I hope that's the right word. Detriment.
I
That sounded
enjoyed
right.
that.
Detriment. Detriment.
Detriment.
I'm sure detriment. Aidan will listen to this and he'll be like, "That's the wrong word." But I said, oh, just a quick segue. I did a gig, a live stream gig for this Twitch channel, which was really cool.
Oh, wow.
But I said, instead of homage to the 80s,
Yeah.
I said homage.
Oh.
Or no, I didn't. I said momage. I said momage. And Aidan was watching it from home, and he just was WhatsApping me going, I am dying. He was like, what the hell is a momage? And I was like, oh my God.
Momage.
And I felt it as it came out my mouth. And I was like, momage. I was like,
Momage.
oh my God, that's not the right word. It's either homage or homage or something. Like, oh. I
Is it
try and be really smart with big words, and I don't know them.
See, words like
Pay
this,
homage?
if you say it too many times, I can't. My
I've
brain.
lost all meaning.
The word orange. If I say orange too much, I'm like, orange. What's an orange?
That doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't
yeah.
exist now because I've said it too many times.
But anyway, that's
Anyway,
my,
yeah, that
my
was-
brain of words. But yeah, it is. And that is something that comes from being a survivor. And it's randomly, I've spoken to a lot of survivors about this kind of like guilt and the pleasing, because it is something that you have to be really careful not to take into another relationship.
Yes,
And
that's so
something
true.
that I've definitely done with Aidan, where like, and I think we spoke about this on the podcast last week or the week before, of like, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to be home in an hour. And then actually it's an hour and a half. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he's like, I don't give
Yeah.
a shit. As long as you're safe.
Yeah.
Get home at 5 a.m. as long as you're
We
safe.
do it to each other with a podcast.
And
We're
it's-
like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna grab a drink. I'll be 2 seconds. And I've just need to, like, somebody's just rang me, and
it's-
the other
yeah,
person
and it
will
is-
be
it's a
sat there
trait from
going,
that.
it's fine. Like, I'm
do
here.
that, yeah.
But it is a trait of that.
fine.
It is.
Yeah. And it is even
Absolutely.
stuff like when we get emails from our producer. I mean, Simon, who will be listening to us, I know his partner does, but when, like, a little bit of inside information, there's been so many times when Simon's emailed us something and we go, oh God, okay, well, we're going to have to do, oh my God, how do we go around that? And
Yeah.
then we're panicking to each other. And actually, one of us will then usually just go, hey, Simon, da-da-da-da. And he goes, cool, there you go. And we're like, oh, okay. But it's,
And we're like, we made a mountain.
yeah,
out
but
of-
it's people pleasing, and it's learning
Yeah.
to kind of stand up for ourselves. Not to stand up for ourselves, but kind of have an opinion and go, actually, no, that's not going to work for me. Is it okay if we do this?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, it's
It
absolutely
usually
fine.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, but because we have had these situations and these relationships where we are people pleasing, and because it's an easier life, we know that by changing our schedules, changing what we need, can maybe stop an argument, maybe stop some violence, like to go really deep into it. We therefore do the things and you learn that is something you learn over and
Very
over again, and then
quickly.
eventually take that into other relationships, friendships even, and like sexual relationships.
Yeah.
You then start to go, actually, fuck, they're walking all over me because I've let them.
Yeah.
Because this toxic trait that I have learnt is I'm now pushing onto other people. And
Yeah.
and then like people say, why don't you stick up for yourself? Why don't you do this and that? And it's like, because I'm terrified to.
Yeah.
And that's the baseline, and it comes down to everything, and it's really that's something that me and you didn't really know we had until we started doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Like we were like, oh, well, I'm just a
agree.
people pleaser. That's what I do. And actually, the base is this is why I'm a people pleaser. It's not because that's what I've born with. I'm
Yeah.
not that kind of person. It's because
Yeah.
I'm terrified to say actually what I need and what I want.
And what I need to say, because and you
Just
don't
in
want
case.
people to think ill of you. That's the thing as well, or to
Yeah.
think that you're not in it, or things like that. Like
Yeah.
you instantly think the worst, because that's, I feel, what we're trying to
Yeah.
get out of what we've been programmed to think in the past.
Yeah.
That might, make us drop in people's minds in their estimation of us. Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
or that we don't work hard, or that we don't do this, and it's like sometimes I know when I'm feeling insecure. Oh God, here we go. I'll message Nat, and it's not like I need reassuring, but I'll message Nat to be like, right, so I've done this. Also, I'm just waiting for da-da-da. It's because I'm like, if I don't tell her, will she know I've done it? Will she think I've done anything?
Yeah.
Which
is ridiculous.
But then my brain goes to, and it's not to message you to go, oh, I've done this, and oh, I've done that.
No.
Like, she
No,
knows
but
how she'll read
yeah.
it, and she knows that it's just me having a little bit of a
Panicking.
moment and panicking.
Yeah.
I know, and this is what I love about us, because we think the same. So it's very easy for us to message back and assure each other. And you'll be like, yeah, babe, cool, that's great, thanks, let me know.
Yeah.
And then I know everything's fine. But we
Yeah.
shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to do
But it
that.
is, and it is something that, like, again, like this podcast, as much as we love that we might be helping someone out there, it is definitely a healing process for us, because like I said, this wasn't, I just assumed this was a trait I had, and I didn't really know the basis of it. And it wasn't really until getting into a healthy relationship where I can be like, hey babe, I'm going out with my friends tonight, I'll mess you like during the night, or hey, I'm gonna go do this, and not having to go, is that okay? And like going, why am I asking if it's
asking
okay?
for
Why?
permission.
Yeah, and like it is things like this that I've gone, fuck, it's because of this. Therefore I need to heal on that. And that's things I would never ever have even thought about. Like it's even stuff like, just letting behind the curtain even more, like obviously being a performer, and me and Farah have we self-fund this podcast, we self-fund the tour. So the tour looked really glamorous and great. Inside, our bank accounts were crying, and it's all for a good cause.
What's a bank
and at the end of the
account?
day, what's a bank? What is savings is the question. But there's been moments when I've had to rely on Aidan financially, which is very hard for me, because I have learnt to be very hard. And again, this is something we talked about on my episode, is I kind of came out of it. I know there's kind of two ways people go. A lot of ways people either go like looking for validation and love, and then some people go like broken down, I live in this box and you are never getting in and never going to know me. And that's, I don't have a lot of friends, because a lot of friends kind of see these walls and see the fact I pretend that I don't get upset and stuff. People see that and go, oh, fucking bitch. Whereas actually it's just me being completely defensive, and I tend to go logical. Like if someone says something to me that could offend me, I go logic behind it and go, cool, da-da-da-da-da. And people are like, oh, wow, that was really blunt. And I'm like, no, but that's my brain. And like me going, you will not hurt me. You will not get to see me upset.
Yeah.
So with Aidan, because he is amazing, like to fucking sing his praises again. But there's been times over the past few months where I'm going, I can't afford this and I can't afford that. And he's just like, we have a joint account. We are a partnership. Yeah. Like, if I can help you, I will. Like, if he can pay for my petrol here and there, he will. And it's taken me, and I still do it because he still yells at me about it. Because I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he's like, you're not a failure. You're still a strong, independent woman. Mm-hmm. I'm just helping if I can. And it will be the same way around. And I'm like, yes. And but it's really hard to, and this is going to sound bad, and I don't think Aidan's controlling me. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it's really easy in your brain to go, yeah, but if I let you do that part of my life, is that control?
Does
is that fuck? And actually, it's not at all. No. It's what pure love is.
Yeah. And the thing is, Aidan's offered to help me. Which, it's just the person in, because he loves you and he loves your friends, and that's the good.
But it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard to not go backwards,
to go and think, because
demons.
like you said, we now, I mean, not so much, but we still find, like you said, we're still finding those things in us through this that I'm like,
absolutely.
I didn't realise that was a thing, but clearly I need to work on that, which is great. And I think no matter what, we should always be working on ourselves, regardless of any journey that you're on. But it's really hard, because sometimes I will go to the extreme of like, well, no, because I don't need this. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
When actually maybe I'm like, I need to soften up a little bit.
But it's so hard, because we see it as a
weakness.
Like, again, me and you are very similar in this. We went the same way. We went. So my sister won't mind me saying this, but obviously when my sister came out of her relationship, she very much went the opposite way, and she wants love, and she wants to feel that validation and know that self-worth, and actually and she knows, and she's working on herself as well, and she's had help, and which is amazing, and I'm very proud of her for that journey. But it's very, I've gone the opposite way of going, fuck everyone, I've got this, no one will ever hurt me ever again, and I will never let anyone hurt me.
Yeah.
And it's just very strange. And I remember when me and Aidan
strange. It's a way of, it was a way of coping, but it's also, a way of like going, I got me, myself and I, and
exactly.
I've got this.
It's very fascinating how the brain works. Like I'd love to know the kind of roots of it and stuff. But I tend to got really hard, even around my family and like even around like you and my friends and stuff. Like how I talk to you, I would never talk to a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
And like, and even we've had conversations when I'll be really down with you, and then someone else be like, "Oh my god, Nat's doing this, da da da," and I know that you're like, "She's a fucking mess," but she'd never tell you that
Yeah.
because that's just who
And
we
I
are.
would never tell you that.
Exactly. And it's like, I remember when me and Aidan first got together and like we had like a little tiff quite near the beginning. And I remember being like, fine, whatever, bye. And he was like, no, that's
That's
not
how
how this works. Let's talk about this. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
a conversation? What does that mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, then why are you upset by that? This is why I'm upset. Okay, I didn't mean that. Cool. And let's have a cuddle. And I was like, eh? Like, and I remember being like, oh my God,
Wow.
that's how
Yeah.
an adult deals with stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to
Mm-hmm.
not let demons come out
Yeah.
and go, nah, this is shit, this is
Yeah.
and even stuff like, again, to letting you guys up behind the curtain, like obviously you won't remember saying this, but like after Manchester, you were very like got imposter syndrome and felt really insecure and you didn't want to watch the videos, and then randomly after O'Meara we swapped.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it was shit, I was awful, everyone hated me. Like, and we had a conversation in my kitchen at like 1 a.m, exhausted, sweaty,
Drinking
like
peppermint
eating
tea.
garlic bread.
Yeah.
Garlic bread and peppermint tea. And both just being like, don't leave me.
Oh my God.
And it was
yeah.
it was
Oh my
it was
God,
a
that
really
nearly made
a
me cry
moment.
then. I don't
Yeah,
know
but
why.
it was a moment of both of us going, yeah, like if something really amazing happened for you, you're not gonna like run off. But if something, and it was like both our insecurities were actually just the abandonment that
Oh my God.
we have found. Yeah, we have found in me and you this support system, and we both know that we're. Like, I'm going to big myself up here, but we're both very talented artists, and we both have great music. And so we both freaked out and went, yeah, but you might be better than me. So if you're better than me, please don't leave me behind.
Yeah.
And it was such a like, oh wait, we've got such abandonment issues, and we both just sat in my
yeah.
kitchen with garlic bread and just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm in. Like even if something amazing happened, you'd be coming with me,
We're going-
and you were
we're
like,
doing it
yes,
together,
same.
yeah.
We're like, just because we're starting the pack doesn't mean it's gonna finish. Like,
Yeah.
and it was, again, it's that whole sense of us going, but are we worth it? Like, is this because my life I've been told I wasn't? And it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What like one event in your life, like if we count a relationship as an event,
Yeah.
can shape your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fucking crazy. And obviously I'm talking about this, like laughing about it because it's baffling. But the other week we were messes
Yeah.
because our insecurities and our triggers are full front in our brain.
But isn't it
all
isn't it
times.
mad though? Like in the moment, like I on that stage at O'Meara, obviously, like we're all very honoured to be there. It's an incredible venue. I got to play
God,
with
yeah.
some incredible artists. You know, I'm a very new artist, and I released my EP 6 months ago, and I'm already like on tour with it. Like, yes,
It's fucking mental,
it's
but amazing.
It's
but mental,
amazing.
Yeah.
Are we making a profit? Absolutely not. Is it self-funded? Yes. But we're
Yes.
still doing it. We're still trying to make our dreams come true and to help people
Yeah.
along the way and tell our stories. And for the first time in my life on that stage in O'Meara, also shout out to the guy who knew every word to my
Oh my God.
songs and Nat songs,
Literally.
because I honestly, thank you. That made my freaking night, because you know, you weren't a family. I genuinely didn't know. It was just a member of the public. who
Whoever
was
you are,
stood
like,
with
thank
his
you.
eyes shut, singing all my songs, and you shocked me that much. I'm full disclosure. I forgot the words to Purple. Right, fine, whatever.
Yeah,
Shit
but you covered
happened.
it very well.
I
You
covered it very well. I just repeated a verse,
Yeah.
but I'm blaming you, sir, because you threw me.
Yeah. Well, it was so funny.
I
'cause
saw you and I
literally-
was like,
saw
wait,
him.
wait a minute.
I saw him like sing along to your music. I was like, oh my God, Farah's gonna go nuts. Rah, rah, rah. And then I got on stage and like he was singing along to some of my stuff, and I was like, oh. And then I did Fire, which I'd released literally a few days before.
Yeah.
And he knew every word. And I was
Yeah.
like, Farah, this guy is amazing.
Yeah.
Like
You
you
made-
made us feel
yeah.
like celebrities.
Yes.
Thank you
So thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Whoever
you
you
so
are,
much. Yeah.
we love you. We want you on a t-shirt.
Yeah, please, like for real, get in touch, email us, because for real, like you made me so happy,
Please.
and
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I for the first time being on a stage, I honestly thought, obviously when we first found out about O'Meara, and I know where I'm at in my career, I know that I'm working hard at it. but to be with other artists that are a lot more established than me, my instant thought and fear was, you're going to self-sabotage this and get so worried that you're not going to enjoy it because you're going
Yeah.
to feel like you don't deserve to be there. But I'm going to say this, and I'm saying it because I'm proud, not because I'm blowing smoke up my arse. But I have never felt
say?
more in place and
Yeah.
at home than I did on that stage. And
Yeah.
not one point in that set did I think you do not belong here. In fact, I was like, bitch, this is it. This is where
home.
this is where you're at. Like,
Yeah.
and this is all I want.
Yeah.
And honestly, I remember taking, like it, you take a screenshot on your phone.
Yeah,
I
taking a
literally
mental
did that
picture,
in my head,
100%.
and I was like, screenshot,
Yeah.
screenshot, screenshot, and
Yeah.
I just have never felt more, just completely and utterly like content.
Yeah. And it's
so
so
I've gone from
weird.
that to so I went from feeling like that and knowing that I deserve to be up there,
Yeah.
and then 5 hours later we're in the kitchen panicking.
It's crazy. How did our brains go from that?
How does that work? And again,
Yeah.
we're acknowledging it. It's not a weakness. We're acknowledging the
No.
fact that we know this and that we know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a spiral. We weren't like, oh my God, but we were just like, please don't leave me. And in a way, it's great. I'd much rather it be that way than be like, oh, Nat's going to leave me, and
Fuck
Nat
you.
thinks she's better than me, and do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's
100%.
not a sense of that whatsoever. But
No,
obviously, I mean, it's
at
a
all.
compliment to one another, really. If we think
Oh
one
my
of
God.
us is gonna,
Yeah, like it's everything we're saying. It's because like we do this a lot. Like something we are very girl power. Like both
Yeah.
me and Farah, we always have been. Like with neither of us are here for tearing other girls down, and we very much have an active way of getting rid of humans that do that in life.
Yeah.
Because there is, newsflash, enough room in the world for everyone.
yes,
But me and Farah are very on it with that and very much calling each other out on stuff, even if that's about our bodies or about our music or about our life choices. We're very on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we literally sat in the kitchen and we do big each other up quite a lot because that's just who we are as humans. So then we were both bigging each other up, and the small demons in our brain of people who have told us these in the past going, yeah, but you were shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like something that we kind of half mentioned ages ago. So me and Farah met doing tribute stuff. Like, we're not ashamed of this. Like, we
Why did your voice crack then, though?
tribute stuff. Tribute stuff.
It was like you were
Um,
saying a really naughty word.
Tribute to Alvin and the Chipmunks, apparently. And like, it was really easy for both of us, especially, I'm going to talk for you here, but especially Farah, because obviously part of your story is that you were always told you would never be like Beyonce, or you'd never be doing these things. You're not good enough to be
I
doing
would never
that. So-
be good enough to play anyone. Or,
No.
sorry, to play myself, but to only be other people.
Yeah. So we easily hid behind Union Jack dresses and massive afros for every weekend
Yeah.
and living our dreams through these people and going, well, yeah, like I can make a living doing this because I'm not being me, like I'm being someone else.
Oh, it was very
It's my
easy.
vocals,
We were
but
getting
it's
flown
fine.
all over the world. We were doing the
Yeah.
ships. We were doing massive theatres. We did TV work. Like, don't get us
It's
wrong.
amazing.
It was amazing.
Absolutely. But we were hiding behind characters. And even when
Yeah.
I did musical theatre, I remember doing this show and like I had this huge like song I was a part of and had this big note to sing, and not once did I ever crack or worry about it or ever go to myself, oh, that's not going to come out, or this isn't going to happen, or people are going
Yeah.
to think you're shit. Because if they think I'm shit, they actually think the character's shit.
Yeah.
That's where my brain was.
I'm
and
playing
like,
someone else. Yeah.
I'm playing someone else. So going on stage as us,
Ugh.
and like obviously I have been gigging with my band for some time on and off, and obviously I had a bit of drama a few years ago, blah blah blah. But it's one of them things of like O'Meara was so bare. Like
Yeah.
we literally laid our souls bare, because not only is it obviously like you said, you are very much new to gigging live.
Yeah.
Like I
As
had
me,
a full
yeah,
band
Jesus,
with a
yeah.
freaking saxophonist. Like
Yeah.
it was fucking mental. We were at this incredible venue supporting two huge artists that we've produced.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the moment of both of us going like, and I think that's kind of what spiraled us, because we went, oh my God, we've done this. This is insane. You can't do that. You're not good enough to have done this.
How have you managed that? Yeah.
Yeah. And it was those little demons. And we literally, it's just so interesting. And we kind of want to come on here and just waffle on about, although we talk about being strong and we talk about healing, we are
Yeah.
still learning.
But
And
also,
we are still
us,
healing.
and this is not me like saying that's wrong what you've just said, but us talking about this, please
Yeah.
remember, none of this is a weakness.
Absolutely not.
This is why, like Nat's just said, it's really important to be honest with everybody listening, because we don't want to come across as if we're fully healed and we're at the end of our journey. We're not. We're not at the
No.
beginning, that's for sure. But we're still on it. We're on it together. We're learning things.
Yeah.
We learn things about each other. We help each other. But also, we're going to be very brutally honest about, like Nat keeps saying, behind the curtains of it all. We're not going to
Yeah.
pretend that everything's fine on social media. We're not, that's not
No.
life. That's not real. We're going to tell you when it's fucking great, like O'Meara. But we're also going to tell you when
Yes.
it's fucking shit. Like sometimes it
Yeah.
is, it's stressful.
Yeah.
And a lot
And that's
like
any part of the journey. Like
Absolutely.
whether you've just come out of a relationship that's like this, or whether you are 10 years away from it, like there are always going to be moments that trigger you and you feel like, fuck, I don't know if people are going to ever believe me, or I don't know if I can get over this, or whatever. And it's just, we just kind of want you guys to know we're still here, and your messages and your support means the absolute world. And even like we're hitting quite nice numbers, which we didn't really expect, because we haven't really done a lot of PR or promo for it.
Yeah.
But we're reaching people who are messaging us, and we're just so grateful to be in your ears once a week and
Sounds weird.
yeah, have you all. And the people who came down to the venues and who have emailed us in, just, you make it worth it. One particular person we won't name, but we had a conversation with afterwards, and we
Yep.
kind of went home and were like, this is why we're doing it.
You know who you are, and we love you very dearly.
We
We think you're very
absolutely do.
strong.
Yes, and there's always a space open for you. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to come on and talk to you guys about everything. And yes, as this comes out, tonight will be our final tour of our final venue of this tour.
Of our first tour, guys. We've done a tour.
Yes,
We've done a
and
tour.
we're gonna go again. So if you haven't managed to come see it, don't worry, we're gonna go again. And we will keep spamming everyone we know to buy tickets.
And we will
to
keep going until we take
donate.
over the world.
Yes. But thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave it there.
Yeah. But we hope this week was, we haven't got a guest this week, but we just wanted to come
No,
on,
just
keep you
us.
up to date, and, just talk life and everything that comes with it.
Absolutely. And if you would like to come on the podcast, or if you would like to talk to us, please email in to takebackthebeattour@gmail.com. Or you can find us on social media at takebackthebeat. Our DMs are open. Please feel free to email us.
Yeah.
Sick tings.
Enjoy the weekend, guys. It's going to be a sunny one.
It's going to be a scorcher.
I just nearly said stay creamed up, but that sounds weird. So I'm just going to
Oh.
say protect yourself. Also sounds weird. Okay, I'm going to go.
Put some cream on. Right. Peace out. A-Town down, kids.
Ew. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Take back the beat.
We do apologise if anyone was triggered by any of the dialogue we used today. We are still learning, and we are only just beginning to talk about our own experiences. We're aware that trigger warnings are completely different for everybody, so please bear with us. We love you all. We also want to hear your experiences. If there's anything you'd like to share with us, any stories, anything you are happy to discuss on this podcast, you can stay anonymous if you would like. Please send us an email at takebackthebeattour@gmail.com. That's takebackthebeattour@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media at takebackthebeat. Thanks, guys. We love you all.